Alright, welcome back to the UFC'n, guys. I do want to start the video by apologizing for the lack of videos over the past month and a half, 2 months. There's been some things going on in my personal life which I'm happy to tell you guys about if you want to ask about it in the comments, or I can make a separate video, whatever the case may be. But I appreciate the ones that were making sure I'm okay and asking how I'm doing over these past couple months. That means the world to me, and it truly inspires anyone who creates content on YouTube to keep doing what they do, right? But I had to come back after this UFC 239 card, and probably not for the reason that most of you all would expect. Now, this card was stacked from top to bottom. We all saw Luke Rockhold get flatlined, Amanda Nunes head kick Holly Holm into the next dimension, Ben Askren versus Jorge Masvidal, which is probably what most of the MMA community is talking about right now. And of course, that would have got a lot more clicks and likes and all that good stuff. But I really wanted to talk about this Jon Jones versus Thiago Santos fight. Now, this fight particularly because Jon Jones looked more vulnerable than I've ever seen him in any fight. That's including the first fight against Alexander Gustafsson. Jon Jones just looked a little bit scared, for lack of a better term. Now, let me rephrase that by saying Jon Jones looked tentative in this fight. Maybe not so much scared, but it could be read either way. Either he was fighting very intelligently, trying to beat the man at what he's best at, which we all know Thiago Santos is a black belt in Muay Thai, has been for a very long time. And Jon Jones said in a post-fight interview that he wanted to fight where Thiago was comfortable fighting. But I have to say, for Jon Jones being such a team fighter and always talking about how much his team means to him and how much their advice means, I really don't think they would have recommended he fight like that against Thiago Santos. I mean, going into this fight, honestly, the main event on the card for me was Ben Askren versus Jorge Masvidal. But after watching the true main event between Jones and Santos, it changed my mind very quickly. And I think a lot of people gained a lot of respect for Thiago Santos and the way he fights. Most people that go in to fight Jon Jones, including myself, if it were to be me, would go in there very hesitant and not so willing to put it all on the line. But you could tell by the way Thiago Santos came into this fight and about halfway through the first round that he was willing to put it all on the line no matter what. He was willing to get knocked out. He was willing to get tapped out. He was willing to get embarrassed in front of millions of people to try to win this fight. And that's what you have to do against Jon Jones. Otherwise, you're not going to have a chance against the man. He's just such an intelligent and masterful fighter. Arguably the greatest fighter in the world ever, of all time. Now, side note, I do have to say Demetrius Johnson is still kind of at the top of that list for me, but Jon Jones is a very close second, if not tied for first. So that's the reason why I wanted to talk about this fight. I mean, I've never seen Jon Jones look so mortal. He looked human in this fight, and that's never been the case for me. I've always been able to tell what his game plan is and tell that he's executing it masterfully, right? That just wasn't the case in this fight. I feel like if Thiago Santos would have extended a couple more of those combos where he was landing with a couple more punches, this fight could have had a very different ending and a lot more quick than 5 rounds. You got to look at another thing too. Thiago Santos fought the majority of this fight, over 2.5 rounds, with a blown out leg. Basically, it was his knee. But when you tear an ACL and blow out things like he did, that's your whole leg going out of commission. But the man fought through it. He was still throwing leg kicks, for God's sake, after that. And that just goes to show how willing he was to put it on the line to win this fight. So either one of two things happened in this fight, and the reason I'm making this video is because I want to know what the community is kind of thinking about this. Do you think that Jon Jones, do you think that this fight went the way it did because Jon Jones was hesitant, or because Jon Jones was intelligent? To me, I'm kind of in the middle on this one, right? I hate to say that. I hate to be one of those YouTubers that never takes a side and always loves everyone and sucks everyone's dick and blah, blah, blah. But this fight, to me, I can't figure out if it was because Jon Jones realized the danger he was in and didn't want to take it to the ground and really just wanted to beat him standing up, or if it was because he knew what he was doing, and he knew he was going to edge out the scorecards, which I just can't see happening. It just doesn't seem to me like... Okay, look, if I was his corner man, I would never give him the advice, okay, you can go into this fight, stand up with this man. One, risk getting knocked out, and two, almost losing points because you just want to beat him where he's comfortable. I would have most definitely told Jon Jones, look, it's the end of the second round now, you're getting tagged, take this man down, end the fight. But it just didn't seem to happen that way. It just didn't seem like, for Jon to be as much of a team fighter as he is and to realize the importance of the people around him, for him to not take that advice, and let me say, I can't say for sure that's the advice they were giving him. Maybe they wanted him to stand up with Thiago, and maybe they wanted to prove a point, but Jon Jones has nothing left to prove. The man is a monster. He'll go down in the Hall of Fame as one of the greatest ever. No doubt, he could quit today, and that would still be a fact 10 years down the road. So it's just hard for me to see that was the case. I know that's what he said in the post-fight interview. He wanted to fight where Thiago was comfortable, but why? Why did you have to do that? Why do you have to give him a chance? Honestly, now that I'm kind of making this video, as you all know, I don't use a script, but as I'm kind of making the video and talking about it and getting my thoughts out there, it seems to me like that's just what Jon Jones felt he had to do to win the fight. I don't think he felt comfortable enough to shoot him for a takedown. I don't think he felt comfortable enough to get in a clinch, to try to get the takedown with Thiago Santos. Again, he's a black belt in Muay Thai, so that Muay Thai clinch would have gave Jon Jones a lot of trouble, although he's very good with his elbows, he's very good with the spinning back fist, so on and so forth in that position. With a guy like Thiago Santos being as strong as he is and being as powerful as he is, I just don't think he saw the opportunity to take him down. So to me, guys, it seems like this rematch is definitely going to happen. I'm very, very interested to see how it turns out. Again, I had zero interest in this fight whatsoever. I thought it was going to be a cakewalk for Jon. And again, that's not to disrespect Thiago Santos in any way. I know he's a very powerful puncher. He's one of the greatest fighters in the light heavyweight division, but we all know that's not the most stacked division in the world right now. So it just surprised me so much to see Jon Jones risking this victory like he did. I know he didn't want it to be that close, obviously, but I also don't think at any point in this fight did I see him going for a knockout or going to finish this fight or trying to finish the fight, rather. He controlled the pace, he did well, he controlled the fight, but he almost lost the fight as well. So let me know what you guys think down below. A couple of questions, actually. One, do you think they'll get the rematch? And two, if Thiago Santos gets this rematch against Jon Jones, is it going to be a thing like Alexander Gustafsson where Jon Jones learned his lesson and goes into the second fight with a whole new outlook and fighting completely different than he did? Or do you think Thiago Santos has a true chance of winning that fight? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Again, I apologize for the absence, but I'm going to try to stay more regular, even though this new career is kicking my ass, for lack of a better term. I'm going to do as much as I can to keep uploading. So keep up with the support, guys. That's what keeps me coming back day after day and making sure to keep you guys entertained. But other than that, guys, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you next time.